Do you have a job? Are you a contributing member of society?
I did work in the industry for the better part of 7 years, so I mean...
Do you have a fully formed frontal lobe?
I could literally cancel your job. I could literally cancel you.
Well, if you said yes to any of those things, or at least see the value in any of those things, then I think you're gonna like today's video. A few months ago, we talked about a Gen Z girl who had gone to an interview at a college with her mother, where she was about to ask a question if they had any accommodations for people who suffered with time blindness, to which the mother tried to shut down the conversation. And I did a whole video about that. If you want to go over it, you can go over it. Basically, my consensus was it would not be impossible for an organization to accommodate somebody with time blindness, but above all, it's not the responsibility of the employer to make sure they can accommodate you. I basically chalked it up to, it is an entitled way to look at things, to just assume that the school or the employer has to accommodate you with every disability you may or may not have. If they can and are willing to, then that's great, but you can't just go through life expecting everybody to deal with things the way you need them to be dealt with. I mean, and for time blindness in particular, I'm not going to sit here and argue the validity of we'll call it a disability of not being able to properly interpret time. But I mean, right here, this is your solution. You put timers on a phone, okay? And that just keeps you on a schedule. And quite frankly, if you're not willing to do that, then I struggle to think of a job or task that you can do. That's not me being mean. That's just the reality of the situation, unfortunately. Some people are so disabled that they cannot function, okay, like at all, okay? It just, there's levels to it, and that's just the truth. That's just the reality of it. Well, after the giant conversation that this girl started after making this initial video, she actually posted another video kind of summarizing her thoughts on all the controversy, all of the conversations, all the feedback that she was getting, and I would like to watch that video with you now just to see where we're at with this girl.
When people ask me, how does it feel being the time blindness girl and have everybody bashing you constantly on Twitter and Instagram? And all I could say is it's a testament of what the United States has become. And we hear about algorithms, political radicalization, and how the internet is influencing humans, and we think, oh, okay. But then when it happens to you, you see how big of a problem it is. Because when we can no longer have a civil discussion about a video with very little context, it makes you wonder, is there even a future for our nation, and what future is there to fight for? Because arousing mass amounts of hate, judging people, making mass assumptions, and being stuck in a cognitive loop without even knowing it, and then doing exactly what the algorithms want is seen as normal. But you know what? It doesn't have to be.
Wow, that was just pure copium, unfortunately. What is she even talking about? She makes it into like a political thing. She starts off, but like she makes it very political, and she uses a bunch of like trigger words like mass algorithms. I don't even understand it. Listen, you made a bad take. You got shit for your bad take. Now this is the part where you're supposed to try to understand why you got such a negative reaction to your take. And it wasn't just like the minority of people disagreed with you. It was pretty much everybody didn't really vibe with what you were saying. And because of that, like if it was just a few people, whatever. A few people are always going to disagree with what you have to say, no matter what it is. But when it's like everyone, when it's like the majority of people are all like, hey, you're really not getting this. At that point, you got to try to self-reflect and understand like why you're not, what you're not seeing. What are you missing here with what you're trying to talk about? To be fair, she's very young, and I'm not saying that just because you're young doesn't mean you can't be intelligent. I mean, the girl seems very well spoken, and I went through her TikTok channel. You know, she has a sense of humor about a lot of things, but this thing in particular, I mean, the pure sheer, like Ben Shapiro was reacting to this girl. At that point, I can kind of understand why she would become defensive. But I mean, she clearly wants to have like a very public voice. She wants to be some type of influencer, and like you got to learn how to take criticism, and you have to understand when, you know, there's a possibility you could be wrong. I guess that's my final statements with her, and I hope nobody from watching my video goes and harasses her. Nobody should harass anyone on the internet, no matter what, really, in most circumstances, especially her. So yeah.
Moving on.
The conversation that she started online around time blindness inspired others to jump to her defense with their own terrible takes, filled with ill-informed examples and lack of life experience. And we're gonna take a look at my favorite example today. Harriet Marie is a TikToker who covers political topics as well as topics related to ADHD or mental health. And at the height of the Time Blindness Girl debate online, she threw her hat into the ring on TikTok with one of the worst videos on the topic I've ever seen. And to be fair, for me to even have an opinion on it, like that it's bad, she at least presents enough of an argument where I can pick it apart and explain how dumb it is. So like there's clearly a level of intelligence here. This girl is clearly just a bit misguided in my opinion, but without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Let's check it out.
Bro, I f***ing love this time blindness debate because it's becoming really apparent that nobody knows what a disability is. Every single video of someone struggling with time blindness, there will be endless comments from people being like, society expects you to be on time to places. And if you cannot be on time to places, you cannot function in society, and you need to learn that. Because that's a disability. Because it's a disability, right? Yeah, that's what a disability is. It's that the way you are, either physically or mentally, does not align with society and the way you were expected to be. Yes, congratulations. You have all discovered the meaning of a disability.
You gotta love how she starts the video with this fake cringe laughing. Like, you know that she sat down and like was like about to make this video and was like, all right, I gotta get the funnies up because I'm just gonna let everybody know how stupid they are and they're all making me laugh. Like it's fake. It's fake. It's very fake, and it's a tactic to try to like make it seem like she's just so much smarter, like she's so far above this conversation that the fact that she even has to make a video arguing with people online is just ridiculous, because you all should already see it her way. And then the whole take of like every single comment under every person that is struggling with time blindness, people are saying society expects you to be on time to places. I mean, they do. They do. Like again, like if you can find a job where you can just show up whenever and complete your tasks at the job whenever you feel like, then that's awesome. I'm so freaking happy for you. But that's just not how the world works. And honestly, it's not even like a societal like thing. Like it's not even like this. These are this is a societal thing. No, like there are tasks that need to be done in a certain amount of time. In fact, I think all tasks are pretty much time sensitive. It does not matter if time blindness is a disability or not, okay? This is like, if you have no legs, I cannot hire you to move furniture for me. I can hire you to do a bunch of other jobs. There are plenty of jobs that you can still do if you have no freaking legs, but I can't hire you to move furniture. And like most jobs just require you to be on a schedule and accomplish tasks at a certain rate. If your time blindness and that causes you to suffer with a concept of time, you just what can you do? Like people are gonna shit on you for that too. Like that should just be obvious that people are gonna look at that and think it sounds ridiculous, because it does sound ridiculous. I don't know if she's an example of somebody who claims to suffer from time blindness that's making a video of this nature, but if you watch this video or a video like this, you're assuming that that person suffers from time blindness. And if the person is like able to put any type of argument together and get out their phone and record something, I mean, I would have to assume that they're also able to set a freaking timer and alarm and cope with this time blindness enough to be able to hold down a job, or at least not make it everybody else's problem. I'm sure there are examples of people that are so messed up from time blindness that they literally cannot fucking function. And at that point, I'm sorry, they're not entitled to a job. And that's not discrimination. That's not ableism. That's not employers being mean. Again, I can't hire you to move furniture if your legs are cut off. Okay, that sucks that your legs are cut off. That's terrible, all right? And that's not something you have no control over, but you can't do the job. So you're not entitled to a job just because you want it or feel like you deserve it. You have to actually be able to do it. And time blindness, not being able to stick to a schedule, not having a realistic understanding of like time and the passage of time in a day-to-day scenario is a major issue that takes you out of the running for lots and lots of job opportunities and just opportunities in general. And both of these examples, assuming that they're both suffering from time blindness, clearly are with it enough that they could cope under their own power. Again, I'm making the phone as an example to get through a day, whether or not they suffer from time blindness or not. They're clearly functional, okay? And to act like there's nothing that they can do and they need accommodations to get through a day is quite frankly ridiculous if these two are people that we're going to be using as examples right now. But yeah, that's it. Moving on.
Like, by definition, it would be accurate to say this about any disability. Look, man, society is designed for you to be able to walk. You are expected to be able to walk, so you need to walk. Like, yeah, that's the disability.
Okay, yeah, they're both disabilities, but time blindness is on a hell of a lot more of a spectrum than losing a goddamn leg or not having the ability to walk, okay? Like I said, like there's ways to cope with time blindness, okay? There's so much modern technology. I mean, my God, there's 1.5 million ways you can cope with with this time blindness, but the same is not true to missing a leg. There's not different severities of missing a leg and not being able to walk. And also, a person that can't walk is more valuable than somebody who can't stick to a schedule. I'm just gonna say it again. I can hire somebody that can't walk to do all kinds of different jobs. I can't trust to hire somebody that can't stick to a schedule to do anything. So that's just stupid. Why are you laughing? You're the one who looks dumb.
Bro, and every single person with ADHD who's like, I have ADHD, and like, I'm not late to things. Delete yourself. I hate you.
Holy shit. That is the most ignorant thing I've heard ever. This girl just told people with ADHD that disagree with her to themselves. Like she just got done with that whole rant, and then she realized that people that actually suffer from time blindness and have ADHD are disagreeing with her, and her thing is just like, oh, well, if you disagree with me and you actually suffer from time blindness and ADHD, then you should yourself if you disagree with me because why? Because they're ignorant? Holy crap, dude.
Like, it's a spectrum. Some people, this may be crazy to you, actually have the disability worse than you. Shocking, I know. Like, physical disability is also a spectrum, and the more minor cases can be overcome with a lot of work. For example, my mother shouldn't be able to walk, but she's unemployed.
What does your mom being unemployed have to do with any of this?
So she goes to aqua aerobics every day and has been able to maintain like a core strength that allows her to walk.
Wait. I'm sorry. This is nitpicking. It really is nitpicking. But okay. So your mom can walk. Your mom has some type of disability that makes it difficult for her to walk. But with effort on her end, she's able to go to physical therapy, aqua aerobics, to be able to walk. So she can walk. She just needs to put a little bit more effort into it than the average person. Also, what does any of that have to do with the fact your mom's unemployed? Like that, what are you talking about? Like, are you saying that your mother like wouldn't have the time to go to these aqua aerobics classes or whatever, this physical therapy if she had a job? You know, people go to the gym like every single day. They're like, there's people who like have hobbies and do other things other than go to work. I mean, I don't know what your mom's schedule looks like, and I don't know how long these classes take, but like, I doubt she's there all day. I don't know. I'm calling a little bit of bullshit. I'm thinking your mom could probably go get a job if she wanted to. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that shit. I once met a guy who lost all of his fingers to frostbite because he got drunk one night, fell asleep outside in the cold, and lost all of his fingers. And people wouldn't hire him. He was a heavy equipment operator. People would not give him a job because he had no fingers. And I caught this guy working under the table, operating a backhoe for somebody, like on the side, like side money shit, because he wanted to work so badly. And your mom can't get up for work because she has to go to physical therapy to maintain her ability to walk. Are you serious right now? Listen, I don't know these people, and there obviously could be and has to be more to it, but this girl just made her mom look like a freaking moron to make a bullshit point, all right? To attempt, at least, to make a bullshit point. That made me so mad. I'm sorry. I had to sneak this in there.
She does not go up to people in wheelchairs and say, hello, I am physically disabled and I can walk, so what's your excuse? Because she's not a crazy person that hates disabled people.
So there, I find that amazing because she really dismantles her whole argument. She like talks about how it's a spectrum, which we already kind of went over, and said that people with physical disabilities can also exist on a spectrum, which I guess is true to like a certain degree, like, but that kind of defeats the whole point, right? Because the whole point is that people with time blindness aren't being taken seriously and like they need to be accommodated, but she's completely taking out of the scenario the accountability on the person with the disability to do their best to overcome the disability, like to the best of their ability. And then she uses her mom as an example here, which is so funny to me because the example is that her mom shouldn't be able to walk, so she treats this whatever was going on with her that she can't walk, shouldn't be able to walk with aqua aerobics, but completely lacks the ability to apply that same logic to this time blindness. And the other thing is she's acting like everyone that comes out that says they have time blindness and they struggle with it, like they're getting criticism for no reason at all. No, you're getting criticism because clearly if you're competent enough to pick up a phone and record a video of this nature, you are competent enough to stick to a schedule and show up to work at 8 o'clock or show up to class at 8 o'clock. And maybe you and me, our brains operate differently. I'm just not seeing exactly what you're dealing with. Dude, you can have an alarm go off and say, oh shit, I need to get ready to go to work right now, okay? And maybe that's not true for every single person that suffers from this particular disability, but I would have to say, and I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna stand on a limb and say that if you are one of these examples, or the previous person to speak here was one of these examples, you are 100% capable of doing that, and that is why you are getting shit, okay? Because anyone that watches these videos can clearly tell that you are a functional human being, and you just this is an excuse. Any validity, any truth there is to you struggling with this disability is being greatly exaggerated for whatever reason, which is why people don't go up to people in wheelchairs and say, hey, I also have chronic back pain. I have this and I have that and I can walk. Why can't you? Because it's pretty freaking hard to argue with somebody that is physically sitting in a freaking wheelchair, or physically you can see that they have lost a leg, and try to argue with them over whether or not they should be able to walk. It is entirely different situations, and to try to use them to compare to make a point is completely, it's just stupid. It's so dumb. This video was so bad. She did a terrible job trying to defend her point. If there was a point to be made, she completely failed in making it, and that's just why I wanted to go over it, because it made me so frustrated just watching her be so sure of herself when she was so utterly and completely wrong in every single thing she said. Like, I'm dyslexic, and when I was in school, I was taught ways to deal with my dyslexia so I could like function better. And that's just something, one other thing I want to close on is, if you are somebody that suffers with these disabilities, it shouldn't matter to you what I think about it. It shouldn't matter what she thinks about it. It shouldn't matter what anybody thinks about it. If you want, and you should want to, you're important, okay? You're a human being. You deserve to have an awesome life. And it's going to be very, very hard to do that when you allow people to make excuses for you, or you feed in to these online hug boxes that these people create, where there's like 100 people telling them they're wrong, but the 2 people telling them they're right, they cling on to them. Okay, just don't do that. Please. All you can ever do is know that you are genuinely trying your best. No one can ever know how difficult the struggle is. No one can ever be in your head. No one ever can really know what's going on in there. But as long as you can look in the mirror and know that you are truly and honestly doing your absolute best to deal with whatever situation you're in, then you're a freaking winner, dude. And that's it. That's it. I'm ending the video there. That's the takeaway. Please let that be the takeaway. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, whatever. Bye.
Okay, is it okay if I touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what are your pronouns?
They, them.
She, they. I'm glad we exchanged those.
Yes.
Okay.
So first impressions of this video are probably that the people in it, the pair of people in it, are pretty progressive looking, in lack of a better term to describe it. They have a certain look to them. They have a certain vibe to them. The way they present themselves to the world is obviously just it's just gonna piss off a group of people right off the rip.